Welcome in, welcome in. Good to see y'all. Still getting set up 1 second. Have to do that. Do one of those. Need some music. Hey, Succubusy, good to see you. Let me up, let me up. You know, people that do that, they're always the best guests. That's what I've noticed. Hi, Storm of Christ.
Hello?
Are you over 18? And what is your religion?
Yeah, I'm 26 and I'm a Christian.
Awesome. What do you want to talk about?
Why would I not worship God?
Well, for one thing, I don't think he exists. But if the God of the Bible did exist, I don't think he's worthy of it.
And why is that?
He does terrible things. They're recorded in the Bible.
Are you talking about like a lot of the Old Testament stories that are apocalyptic literature and not to be taken as literal?
No, I'm talking about the laws.
Like
That
what laws?
the laws that were meant to be taken literally. All right, 1 second.
For a
Hmm?
specific time?
Not according to the Old Testament, but according to Christianity.
Yeah, it's called progressive revelation. Jesus fulfilled the laws. And then we have the Ten Commandments.
Okay. So you think Jesus is the Messiah? Why do you think that?
I'm convinced by the empty tomb, and yeah,
Okay, but why would that mean he's a Messiah?
I think if you're able to resurrect, and he says, "I am the truth, the way, and the life."
So because he said he is God, and because he resurrected, which, by the way, happens a lot in the Bible. In fact, it happens when Jesus dies, a bunch of people resurrect. There's a bunch of zombies come out in Matthew. But so you think that tells you that he's the Messiah? Like, I don't understand what that has to do with prophecies. That's what I'd assume would be the reasoning, but maybe you have a different way to get there. Progressive revelation, I guess.
Well, yeah, he says, "I am the truth, the way, the life," and he resurrected, and yeah, it's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. You don't really know why you
All
believe this. You don't really understand this
all
religion very
the
well, do you?
all the other religions, they say this and that about Jesus, and then finally you get to Christianity, and they all acknowledge Jesus in one way or another, right? All the main Abrahamic religions, and then finally Christianity
Interesting.
says, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life."
Right. So you don't really understand this religion very well. Like, you take it on culturally, maybe, but like you don't really get what you believe.
Well, I'm not understanding why you're saying that. We're trying to get into the depths of it here.
Because the
You're
things
asking
you're
why.
saying don't make any sense as to why you would believe it. That doesn't answer the question as to why he is the Messiah. I have no idea what him saying something and him resurrecting has to do with him being the Messiah.
If he fulfilled the old laws, if he fulfilled the Old Testament,
Mhm.
the Old Testament is clearly God speaking. If Jesus is the sacrificial lamb,
What does any of this mean? What does
that
fulfilled
he's
the old
God.
law?
What do you mean? It means that he is God. That's what the whole Bible is pointing to.
Here's what I'm trying to get you to understand about your own religion. So there are prophecies in the Old Testament that had to be fulfilled by the Messiah. For Jesus to be the Messiah, he would have to fulfill all those prophecies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, trying to find the. Oh, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah. So there's this verse where we see in Hebrews. Oh yeah, here it is right here. We see in Hebrews where it talks about Jesus like this. Let's see, Hebrews 7, and I'll put it on the screen. Okay, the priestly order of Melchizedek. Are you familiar with this section?
Let me see.
Well, I can
I'm
read
sure I've
it. You
read
don't
it.
have to.
I'm sure I've read it, but I've
Okay.
never studied it. No.
No,
So
no, sure,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna be able to.
It's
I'm not gonna be able to give you the textual criticism and the context and any of that.
well, I'm not for that. I think we can just read through it and see what we think it means. What do you think of that?
If you wanna,
Are you interested in that?
if you wanna.
Okay. This quote Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High, met Abraham as he was returning from defeating the kings and blessed him. And to him Abraham appointed 1/10 of everything. His name in the first place means king of righteousness. Next, he is also king of Salem, that is king. Oh, okay, see you later. Not if I want to. Apparently, you don't want to. What's wrong with people? Well, that was awesome. Why not worship him? You think if everyone worshipped there would be hate and selfishness? I think if fewer people worshipped or believed in this God, they might be able to like make a coherent sentence. Oh yeah, tilting, good point.
Where did you run, oh Christian? Where was the Spirit? Why run from my simple questions? Don't you have the answers in your book?
Hey Ali, thank you. I did have a good break. Ali over in Twitch. I do have a Twitch channel. I don't do much with it, but if you want to keep seeing the YouTube, the TikTok chat, and you don't want to use TikTok, Twitch exists. But I still have that because Twitch is widescreen. So if you prefer a widescreen, you could use Twitch. I think YouTube somehow also has a widescreen and it splits and is dual. I have a button. It tells me it does. Yeah, let's see. Oh, hey Crystal. Good to see you. Hey Tris. Yeah, I've stolen the Joel AI. I hacked his computer actually. To hear, it's great to see you. Lathe of Heaven, turn with me to the scriptures. Okay, we have our next guest. With that, we move on to our very next guest, as Ian might say. Hi Zach,
Hey, how
are
you
you over
doing?
20? Are you over 18? And what's your religion?
Yeah, I'm over 18 and I'm a Christian.
Cool.
It says Christians, why worship God? May I ask why not?
Well, first, I don't think that he exists. But secondly, if the Christian God exists, I think he would be a monster for the laws that he has in the Old Testament and even stuff that he does in the New Testament. I don't think he's like a good person.
Okay. And to be honest, I've heard a lot of things and I've seen a lot of things, and I wouldn't quite like say, man, you're making a bad point, you know? So, um, would you like to like explain? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you owe me an explanation, but like, can I hear you out, you know?
Well, I'm curious why you would worship the God of the Bible. Like, what are the things that you think are like the reasons to do it?
Well, personally, he saved me. Um, like, um, I want to say this, but like, how do I say it? Let me just get straight into it. Long story short, because I don't want to bore you. Basically, I thought I was this horrible human being that I shouldn't even have been born. Like, I look back at my past and I'm like, dude, like, who is this guy? Like, I don't even know, like, this guy. He was horrible. But one day, like, I found out what it really meant to know Jesus and what he did for me. And after that, I'm like, wow, you can forgive me. You don't see me for what
How
I
long were
did.
you
You
in the
see me for
slammer?
my
When did you find Jesus in jail?
no, no. I
Oh,
just
so not so bad that you went to jail.
no. I used to be like used to be a little gangster. But
Okay, so potential jail, like some potential jail.
Yeah, I didn't do anything crazy to where you're like gonna be like, oh my god, dude, this guy's horrible. You know, I
I'm just
just
trying to figure it out because you're being so vague, and so it's hard to tell. Like you could be on any scale of anything. When did you find Jesus?
um, I've always known about him. I grew up in a Christian house, but and like knowing scriptures, going to little schools and stuff like that, and like Sunday services, and actually like learning, but I didn't really understand it. Like I knew a lot of stuff, but I didn't understand it. Like I just went off and did my own thing, hanged out with people. I smoked, I fought. Um, a
So
lot
like you're
of
like a
like
normal
yeah,
teenager, essentially.
yeah, but I just like was very hard on myself.
Okay.
And one day, like I'm like, wow, I was horrible, and like I was just like, why am I not normal? Why did I do all these dumb things? And basically, I didn't think I could be forgiven. I'm just like, bro, like I fought that dude and I hurt him really bad, and like I was
Did you
always
did
lying
you
on
did you
him.
ask him for forgiveness, the person you fought?
Yeah, I mean, no, I
No,
didn't.
you didn't
But
ask them.
eventually, I did.
You
Yeah, I
didn't.
eventually talked to them.
Uh-huh.
But long story short, because I'm making it very long, um, I realized one day, like I don't know, it came to me. I'm like, I somebody talked to me, and they're like, this and that and this. So I found out for myself. I went and I found out what him dying on the cross actually meant.
What did it
How
actually
bad
mean? What
things
did it
are.
actually mean?
So he who knew no sin bore sin, became sin,
But what is
and
that?
died for
What
him,
does that mean?
and
That's all
defeated it.
nonsense.
What do you mean?
Like sin doesn't exist. It's not like a real thing. It's just like God's preference, and God doesn't even exist. So like I don't know what this means, that he didn't have sin and he became sin. It's all just like a big like doesn't mean anything. Like there's no substance to that.
Okay, so what are you kind of asking me at this point?
I don't know why you'd believe this. It sounds like you matured and you felt like you found probably community through Christianity or something. And
Nope,
you felt like you
not
were a
right
real
now.
piece of shit because the
No,
Bible tells you you are. And then you're like,
no,
oh,
that's
that's
not
right,
right.
I am, and I need to change. And then you tried to get better. It's unclear whether or not you got forgiveness from the people that you harmed, or you just feel that you've been forgiven by God, and so that's good enough. And so I'm trying to figure out like
No, I
why
went
would you
out and
believe
found those
this at
people.
this point? You should at this point be able to look at the whole book and say, well, this doesn't make sense, and just leave.
It sounds very passive aggressive, but no, I found those people, and I talked to them, and they were like, you know what, we're both kind of stupid, and a lot of them found God too. But it sounds more like you kind of want me to prove to you. Is
I
that
want to
it?
know why you worship the God. And so far, it's like a long story. I know you've been trying to be concise, but it's really not been like concise, and it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
It's all
you've been
just like,
interrupting me. I mean, you've been interrupting me
are
every
you
time
for
I'm trying to get
real? I
something.
sat quietly and listened for a very long time. Everyone is bored. Everyone.
You sound mad. Would you like for me to go on to why I worship him?
Please. What are the qualities? Why do you think this God is good? What's going on?
Because I felt nothing but happiness since I've been
Okay.
worshiping him.
So it's like a selfish like feeling reason. It's like because it's working
No,
out for
I've
me,
actually
I
been serving
worship the
others.
evil God.
No. Why is he evil?
The things that he did in the I already told you this. We went
Yeah,
over
no, I
this.
told you to go into detail. I told you to go into detail about this stuff.
Oh, I
What
know,
did he
but
do to the
it
people?
sucks because like it sucks so badly to hear people defend this bullshit. So
I'm not defending him.
I wanted to see if you have a real reason to believe in it,
Yeah.
but you
Well,
don't.
just
And
go into
now
your
we're going to it.
details.
We're going to it. We're going to it.
Okay.
You're
Go
so
ahead.
anxious. You're so anxious to defend the bullshit that your God did. So here are
Oh
the
my
verses where
God.
your God said that you can have slaves. What do you think of those verses?
Okay. Let's read it. He was returning from feeding the kings and
Oh,
blessed
that's
them.
got the wrong Bible.
Okay.
That's got the wrong page. 1 second. Priestly order of Melchizedek. Leviticus
How
25.
Leviticus 25. All right, which verse do I read?
44. As for the male and female slaves you may have, it is from the nations around you may acquire
whom you may
male and
have.
female slaves. So what do you think of this?
As for female slaves whom you may have,
Yep.
it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. Oh, I see that. What's happening? What's happening more up?
Yeah, these are the laws that your God is giving. Does it matter what's happening more up? What do you think's going on here? You haven't spoken to this at all.
Yeah, let's go more up. Hold on, go back. I was reading that.
Oh, okay, we'll start at the beginning because you're not going to be satisfied, right? Leviticus 25. We'll just start at 30. Is that far enough up? We were at 44.
Sure, if you want. I wanted to start the whole chapter, but we can.
You want to do the whole chapter?
That'd be fun.
You don't want to get to like the meat of it. You want to dodge and avoid it. I'm sure you've gone over this, right?
No, I can be here all night with you.
Have you ever gone over this before?
Yeah, I actually have.
Interesting. And you're still confused. You're like, what's happening? What's in the context? You're still kind of like, what's happening?
Not really.
So what are we doing? What's the hold up here?
We're reading the Bible here, man. Fun?
No, you're fucking annoying.
Oh, why so passive aggressive? Something's bothering you.
That was outright aggressive. I'm not sure if you caught that. You're bothering me, Zach. Like, I wanted to actually talk. I want to actually talk, right?
I know.
And Christians are so fucking you're so fucking avoidant. You're so fucking stuck in this shit. You can't have a conversation. You can't really engage.
Okay. So, can you do me a favor?
No. Fucking say whatever you're going to say, but don't ask for a favor. I'm not going to fucking do you a favor. I'm going to do you shit.
Man. So, this is how God mad?
Yeah, this is how God makes me mad. You're going to engage? Do you believe in this? Do you believe? Do you worship this God? The God that gave laws about slavery. Do you worship that God?
Okay. So
do you worship the God that gave laws that regarding slavery? Do you worship that God, Yahweh?
Well, he's not the same God that you're talking about.
Oh, in what sense?
Okay. So do you know what a lexicon in Hebrew is?
Yes, like when you look up words and it tells you the different meanings.
Yeah, but do you know what Hebrew is? How like the languages, they kind of mean different things with the words and how everything is just kind of different. And do you know what the difference between modern day or the slavery that you learned about and slavery back then?
Interesting. I don't think we've talked at all about the slavery I've learned about or the slavery back then. I don't know why you're bringing it up. We're talking about the Bible. So why don't you defend this? Just say what you're going to say. I know what you're getting at. It's stupid. You're wrong, and you know it. Someone's told you this before multiple times, I'm sure, because I do this to people every fucking day. And every fucking day, it's the same fucking script because you will not engage. Address it. You know that your God said you can own people as property. That's the topic.
Well, now it went from slaves to own people as property.
Do you know what slavery is, sir?
Define it.
Owning someone as property.
Look at him, he's so aggressive, he's so mad.
Do you think it's funny?
No, it's funny that you're getting mad. You make a whole entire live just to put people down. Ooh, there it is, there it is. There it is.
Well, that was a sigh. I'm actually really sad now.
No. You were like you were upset.
No, like, I realized what this is, right? Like you're so disingenuous and detached and disengaged. This is all of you. This is all that you are.
Genuine.
You don't have anything about you that's real.
This was genuine up until you started being very ugly. Do me a favor and click the word that says Hebrew right there next to passages and resources.
Do me a favor and just fucking say what you want to say. We're not gonna We're not gonna click Hebrew passages and resources. You're wrong about what you're saying. Make the claim and then we'll research it. Make the claim.
Press the Hebrew so you can
make
see my
the claim and then we'll research it. Make the claim. We're not going to do the research and then you can tell me what it says. Make the claim and then we'll research it.
Wow.
Wow, you're defending slavery, Zach. Do you understand that?
Anything.
Do you understand what you're defending?
Anything.
Do you understand what you're
I'm not
defending?
anything.
Do you understand what you're defending? What do you think you're defending?
No, I'm not defending anything.
No,
yes,
you
you
don't
are.
defend your God. You don't defend your God's laws?
You
His
don't
word?
your God. I'm not
Zach,
defending anything.
let me ask you
That
a
the nervous
question.
laughter is wild.
I'll let you ask me a question as soon as he presses Hebrew.
Excuse me, you won't answer my question and you'll get the fuck out of the box. Who are you trying to have
Send me
authority
out.
over?
Send me out.
You better go be whining to your mama because I ain't your
No,
mama
kick-
or daddy.
Reverend Chad,
sure
don't
as
we don't
fuck have
Reverend
no
Chad,
authority
we don't
over
need
me.
we don't need just like back and forth smack talk. What's up? What are you doing?
Just press Hebrew. That's all I'm asking.
Zach, shut the fuck up. Reverend Chad, what do you want?
I want to ask him why
Reverend Chad, I think
his
you're really cool.
scripture says that the only endangered is for Hebrews.
Reverend
But
Chad,
he's
I think
trying to
you're
say
really cool.
that this slavery is indentured servitude.
I'm not saying
Exactly.
anything.
I know
haven't
he
said
won't make the
anything.
claim. That's the problem. Chad, I got this. I think you can just drop down. I'm sorry. So, Zach, I want you to make claims and then we can research it. The problem is that you won't actually say anything so that we can have an actual discussion about it because you don't fucking care. You're a piece of shit.
Oh my God, thank you.
I'm so tired of these disingenuous assholes. This is what is wrong with this fucking country. Like, they can't reason, they can't discuss, they can't think. And they get up here and they laugh and they say, ah. And yeah, I'm fucking mad because I'm sincerely asking you why you worship this God. Do you know what you fucking did, Zach? Do you know what you did for like fucking 20 minutes or whatever? You sat here and did nothing. When I thought of this topic, I was like, this is going to get me like a sincere conversation. I can ask directly, why do you worship God? Zach's like, I matured. And he dressed it up. He didn't even dress it up that much. You know, I was hoping there'd be like he like murdered somebody or did something really bad. No, he didn't do anything. I'm fucking so mad. I'm like flying off the chain, insanely mad. Because like he's just, all he wants to do is waste time. That's all that person is a waste of time. And like I fell for it. I always fall for it. I just need to fucking change the background to the cult one. Change the background to the cult one and just fucking stop pretending that these people are like anything but pieces of shit that should be just like torn apart. You know, I started on the easiest thing is the slavery verse. I feel like it's a very easy one where you can just say, oh, wow, I didn't know that was there. You know, I saw every step he was doing and he wasn't making any claims because he didn't want to get caught. He knew he was wrong. That's why he can't say anything. Like he can't actually say anything. And you're blocked. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm fucking so... That really... Dishonesty gets me. Like, it really gets me. You know, when they're straightforward pieces of shit, it's easy because it's clear what they're doing. But when they're manipulative like that, it's twisted. It's wrong. It's not good. Thank you, Sucker Pussy. Thank you, Sucker Pussy. on up, Alfie. Let's talk about the cult I'm in. You tell me all about it. I'm sure you know plenty. Jesus Christ. This cult, like, it produces the worst people on earth. They're just saying something. I don't know that that's actually true. The Muslim religion is pretty bad, but like, Islam's pretty bad, but like, this is bad. This is not good that people think this way. People should not be, it was kind of a crash out. I understand. They got me, right? They got me. They knew exactly the right way to twist my screws. I just need to take a breather so that I can engage with the next guest and not take it out on them. Try to reset and remember that everyone is deserving of dignity.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, are you over 18 and are you a Christian?
Yeah, I'm 20 and I'm a Christian.
Cool. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so like I'd say the reason why I'm a Christian is because for one, I would say that God's existence is necessary. And for two, when it
Necessary
comes to
for what?
For the prerequisites to logic.
It's necessary for logic? Why do you think that?
The prerequisites to logic, because without God, there's no foundation. The laws of logic are abstract concepts.
Why?
Because there's no justification for it.
Why? I
If you
don't
could give me
understand.
if you could give me an argument or justification for abstract concepts or the laws of logic, maybe I would, believe in
The
your
laws of
worldview.
logic is a language that we use to describe the way the universe works.
Okay, so is that language objective?
No, language is subjective, but it just describes
if
how
it's
the universe works.
Okay, if it's a language that describes how the universe works, can I reject? And it's subjective, right? Can I reject the
You can
laws?
change how what you want to call the laws of logic. You can change the language around it,
Of
right?
course, yeah. You can change what it's called, but I'm
Right.
saying that the laws of logic,
They're
as
consistent.
it is,
They're consistent, but they're not they're not laws in the sense of somebody gave them. You don't need to ground them in something.
So are they?
It's just a
are
consistent
they
way that the world works.
are they laws? Are they objective laws though?
It's objectively the way the world works. I don't know what you mean by objective laws.
Okay, so like when you say that that's objectively the way the world works, would that
Yeah.
be presupposing the law of identity? Yes or no?
Yeah, I guess so. So you're saying it's circular?
So yeah, so like that's a circular argument. So what's your justification for that position? Because like in a
Well,
world
I guess
that's
just take it
matter
that
and
it's an
energy.
axiom. Can I not take them as an axiom?
Well, even if you take it as an axiom, if the world simply is just matter and energy, you have no like justification or reason to believe why that axiom is like absolute or true. You're just making another presupposition. In the same,
In what sense?
can
Hold
say
on.
that-
No, don't move on. Don't move on to the same way. I don't understand the sentence you just had. So I can take it as an axiom, but it wouldn't be always an axiom. I can't take it as an axiom.
no, I mean you can take it as an axiom. I mean, I guess if you want, but like
I do want to
either
get me
way,
out
that
of your
wouldn't be
problem, right?
that wouldn't be objective truth though in your worldview. Because when it comes to existence
I don't think
in
there is
God, you would
the only thing that I know for certain is that I'm experiencing something. I don't know that there is anything else.
okay, yeah, but how can you know that what you're experiencing is absolute?
I can't.
You can, exactly.
No one can.
And you have no justification since in your worldview it's just simply matter and energy, you have no reason or justification to believe in what you're actually seeing. Therefore,
Why do you make a straw man? Why don't you just ask me for my justification instead of making a straw man?
what's your justification? You have no justification. What?
What? How do I not?
Okay, what's your justification? Answer me.
The way that everyone does, right? I know that I'm experiencing stuff, and then it
Okay.
seems that the things that I'm experiencing are very consistent.
So it's not absolute?
No, of course not. I did not say that it was.
Okay, so when you say that, so is there an
It's justified. That's all that I'm saying.
Okay, if
I
it's
have
justified,
a
is there
justified
like
reason to believe this.
could there be like an alternate let's say like an alternate representation of what you're seeing, for example, that what you're seeing actually is not what is displayed in actual reality?
Could be.
Could that be the case?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay, therefore you don't have justification because you would have to present
Nope.
an argument that
That's
shows
not
your truth.
what that means.
Unless I can, so by same logic, I can say, well, we're humans, we're contingent beings, therefore we ought to be created. Like what? That's the
I'm
same.
sorry.
That's your
Are you
same
making
logic.
some new argument? I'm sorry. What are you talking
No,
about? A contingency argument?
I said by your same logic. Since you said, oh, it seems like this, so therefore I'm going to have a justified belief, then I can say, for example, that, oh, since we are beings and we are contingent and we have a mind, therefore that calls for a lawgiver.
You're shifting to the contingency argument?
Huh? How am I shifting to the? I'm saying by your same logic.
No, it is not
just
by
saying
my
by
same
your
logic.
same logic,
It
I
is
can
not
have
by my
justified belief.
Servant, that's not by my same logic.
By that same logic, I can have
servant,
justified
you don't
belief
understand phenomenal
without
conservatism. You don't understand phenomenal conservatism.
What? Could you explain?
Yeah, 1 second.
Bro, to search it up.
I want to make sure that I get it perfectly right. I could be wrong about what I'm thinking of. I mean, you have never even heard of it, right? So, phenomenal conservatism is a theory in epistemology that seeks roughly to ground justified beliefs in the way things appear or seem to be the subject who holds a belief, or seem to the subject who holds a belief. The theory fits
okay, so could I say that we seem to be created, therefore we're created?
No, because you need to hear what it says. It's not just that you seems to be to you.
All right, explain.
Do you understand how philosophy works? Like, why did you come up and run this if you're not sure how philosophy works?
No, I do understand how philosophy works.
Then why won't
you don't understand it? Because you're claiming that there is this world.
I don't understand.
Like, for example, you're trans, right? Like, you're claiming that
what does that have to do with anything, literally at all?
But I mean, it kind of does.
You got cornered, and
like
so
you're
now
saying, oh, the Christian God isn't real.
Bigotry. This is very funny because I brought up a thing that you don't know, and you feel bad, right?
All right,
so you want to skip over it. You want to stop talking.
Explain it.
Look, transphobes get blocked.
No, Ron,
transphobes get blocked. So we're stopping this now. We're coming into a different phase of the conversation.
Who said I was a transphobe? We're
coming into a different phase of the conversation, right? Stop unmuting and wait for me to finish.
Why are you so mad, bro?
And that is how that ends. We were having a really good one. Like a really good one. I loved that conversation until you had to bring transphobia into it. That was going so good. I have not had a chance to even bring this up. That's why it was like distant from my mind. And I'm trying to think. I'm like having the conversation like, okay, we're talking about the thing. What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? So I'm like kind of trying to get to it. I'm like, phenomenal conservatism. That's it. Phenomenal conservatism is a theory in epistemology that seeks roughly to ground justified beliefs in the way things appear or seem to the subject who holds a belief. The theory fits with the internalistic form of foundationalism, that is, the view that some beliefs are justified non-inferentially, not on the basis of other beliefs, and that the justification or lack of justification for a belief depends entirely upon the believer's internal mental states. The intuitive idea is that it makes sense to assume that things are the way they seem, unless and until one has reasons for doubting this. Like, I really like this idea. I heard Ian run this for a long time, and it's like really changed my view of how you can determine what's true. And it just sucks because he didn't want to engage. Like, I don't know. It definitely triggers me, right? When they suddenly like want to switch to trans. It's like that's all that's in their mind. It's crazy wild to me. And then everybody in the comments gets all like happy about it. They get so excited that I'm upset. It's so funny. You're all like, God, I'm like in a really, really sour mood from these fucking dishonest people. Like, I'm okay with engaging with full bros if they can slow it down. All that the guys had to do was like stop unmuting and trying to talk. Thank you. Yes, cheer everyone up. Yeah, suck it, pussy. I get it. I thought I could do this, but it's just every fucking caller. This is all that they want to do. They just want to attack me because they don't have any fucking worldview that makes sense to defend. Mary, Isaac, come on down. Why disrespecting the Bible? Because it's dog poop. It's not good. No, Mary? You a bot, I guess? I am atheist, yeah. Hate to hear. Thanks. So, phenomenal conservatism has been invoked to explain in particular the justification for perceptual beliefs, justification for moral beliefs. Some believe it can be used to account for all epistemic justification. It has been claimed that the denial of phenomenal conservatism leaves one in a self-defeating position, that phenomenal conservatism naturally emerges from paradigmatic internalist intuitions, and that PC provides the only simple and natural solution to the threat of philosophical skepticism. Critics have objected that appearances should not be trusted in the absence of positive, independent evidence that appearances are reliable, that the theory allows absurd beliefs to be justified for some subjects, that the theory allows irrational, unreliable cognitive states to provide justification for beliefs, that the theory has a plausible implications regarding when and to what degree inferences produce justification for beliefs. So, I take it as just a baseline. I don't take it as like anything that seems a way, like, and I mean especially because it's when you have reasons to doubt it, that's when the seemings fall apart. What a shark show! What a shark show! I always knew it'd be a shark show. Who's talking about birthdays? What's happening over here in the YouTube chat? When did his second birth happen? Oh, it's just some other thing about just some side convo. I thought it's weird when people don't address people in chat at all, and it's hard to know if they're talking to me or something. Yeah, Jacob, I'm sorry that my life is like where all the hateful people come. All the nice Christians go to the big streamers. Seems like a conspiracy. Oh, I see what you're saying. It is annoying to tag on the phone, so that's a very good point, Succupussy. I often don't, but when I'm streaming, I get upset about it. So there's like a, you know. Oh, Allie, you found some comfortable bras. That's great. Yeah, Succupussy, it's funny when you use all the different apps and you get to learn all the little quirks and how each of them has like different terrible things. And you're like, why don't you just, do they use these apps? Just fix this. I know it's not that simple. You know, I've worked on stuff, but you got to get the sign-offs for the resources to do all that stuff. But it's kind of like, doesn't seem that complicated. I really like Telegram's swipe to reply stuff, and like how the emotes work on that, where I think you just like tap on it and emotes come up. Is that how? I think Discord is a hold, like a press. Have I used AI as psychiatrist? No, I don't think AI is qualified as psychiatrist. I've used it for like really simple talk therapy. Do you have theological problems with the Trinity? Theological problems? I don't know. Theologically, I guess it's true, but I have problems with the idea of it in like a logical sense, not theological, but logical sense. Have you tried an AI proctologist? This is exciting. You know what I think it is? I had like 3 cups of coffee today. That's probably too much coffee. That's a lot of coffee. That's way too little coffee. Oh, terrible name. Are you second Jesus now? I didn't know. That's great to hear. Leader 2. Oh yeah, we could talk about the Max. The Max is interesting. Does anyone ever see the Max? Honestly, and I hate to say it, but I kind of wish there was a dedicated way to say to people that didn't fill up the chat. Half the time I have to decide whether to even say hi, am I alone? Oh, dedicated way to say hi to people that didn't fill up the chat. Tilting, I don't understand the concern. The chat is the chat. Book is book. Oh yeah, reactions would be nice. Never leaving God's side. Why is that, Matthew? LeBron, hi, how's your day? It was good. Honestly, okay. I missed, I scheduled an interview for today, but I also didn't know it was a holiday. And so the interview got, like, kind of canceled anyway. That's a good point, Ali. God is committing genocides, and you want to be next to God's side? I'm an atheist, but there are great benefits to religion if you don't swallow it whole. Okay, Mormon boy. Interesting. There are not that many great benefits to religion. It's mostly community. Well, I appreciate it, LeBron. If you want, we could talk about, Christianity. I think that it's not not good for people or society. Tilting. That's a good point, I guess. I don't know. I like it. I like seeing everybody say hi. It's fun, but I understand what you're saying. Personally, I love that some people come to my chats and watch me stream. Yeah, Ali says, I believe that we didn't have religion. We find other ways to have community, so it's not a benefit of religion. Right, I think that's true. And I have found other ways to find community, like this, fighting religion. But before that, I found community through, podcasts and stuff. You just meet like-minded people. Oh, I don't mind at all, LeBron. Go ahead, follow me. That's great. At least you're streaming and not streaking. Well, the best viewers. I have no idea how to take that away, Ali, so I'm sorry. I get spam a lot in Twitch, and I have no idea how the moderation tools work in there. And since I don't get a lot of chat, I just haven't looked into it. I've seen better viewers. Sesame Street provides a better account for logic and morality than the Bible does by a wide margin. Marvin, I've seen you before. You've come through before, I think. Do you have the little tab on the left side of the message? You should be able to slide that to ban. Let's see here. I have a reply. I have a pin. No. Try putting it back into the window. Oh, I wonder if I have to change like some mode or something. I don't know what this does. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, whatever. I banned them. That doesn't. This is live even about, it is about that it is time to leave the cult. From a sociologist's perspective, religion is beyond the belief in a God. I'm not sure what that means. How did Christ catch on? What is this life even about? I think this uneducated person can rewrite the gospel. What? Okay, right. So I don't aim to rewrite the gospel. In fact, I think you should just toss it in the trash. Something I've noticed that happens a lot, and I can't tell if this is just a person thing, like everybody does this all the time with everything, or if it's specifically religion. But religious people make a lot of assumptions. Oh boy, a lot of assumptions. John Mooney? I don't know who John Money is. I think I've heard the name John Mooney, but I don't know who that is. The Lord hath blessed me with the authority in this chat. Witness my crown is proof. You got the #1 chatter. I think, what does that mean? Does it mean just new or something? 75 XP? You're just tied with everyone else. John Money is your guy. What do you mean? Or patriarch? I don't know who that is. Hey, Juno. Oh, what are we listening to? Twilight Princess? Oops. I wonder if that's gonna get, like, hit by YouTube. Yeah, when there's a tie, it seems to be random. I like how excited Marvin was. Marvin, I appreciate the excitement. Donations boost your rank, Marvin, if you want to keep that #1 spot. Oh, I see. Ali says it's someone to do with trans stuff. Marvin. Is that what you're doing? You're doing some, like, transphobia thing? Yeah, Nintendo music. Risky. Hmm. 4 messages. I got #1. Proof of God favoring the faithful. Okay. Interesting way to look at life. Even small super chat donations make a huge difference in XP. If anybody wants to prove God's faithfulness, that God's favor to Marvin is not real, you could give me money. What's Mormon Boy saying? There's all these chats going on. Someone come up here and talk to me. Egg sent 10 cent floating heart. Thank you so much. Oh, we also need more subscribers. 11 more subscribers, and I think we're at 666 on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna try to do like a video essay a week. I stream nearly every day. I think tomorrow I'm gonna take off. I really need some time off, I think, a little bit. And I have chores to do. I have to go to the store. I have to prepare for an interview if I get that interview. Look at the mother effing trees. To temporarily take the crown. Tilting windmill. To get taken? When will it update? Oh, thank you for the... It was a $5 super chat, by the way. Thank you very much, Tilting Windmill. I got so excited because I want to see the... Yeah, there it is! You got knocked down 2 pegs, Marvin. Marvin, send more money. Send me some money. You'll get that boost. Get God's favor. Thank you so much, Tilting Windmill. It's cutthroat. It's cutthroat here. Mormon boy, are you still arguing that religion is useful? Yeah, it is pay to win. What shall you say to the Almighty confronted? Will he accept middle fingers? What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to be real quiet. So, like, my plan is he's going to be chilling, right? Probably on a stupid throne or something on the firmament. I'm going to be, like, creeping around. I'll go around him. And I'm going to take, like, a big, like, I imagine at this point, like, I can do whatever I want because it's, you know, magic land. So I've got, like, a huge, like, axe, right? And I'm going to get up, climb up on him. Kind of like, Shadow the Colossus, right? So I'm going to be climbing up, and then I'm just going to start wailing on his neck with that axe, just wailing on it. I don't think I've said shoutouts for a while for the gifts on TikTok. Thank you so much, Tris, for the heart me, Asra for the heart me, 5656 for the heart me. Swizzle BG sent Servant of Yeshua boxing gloves. That's pretty cool. Neat. 3 pips, heart me, thank you. And another boxing gloves to Servant of Yeshua. Jean Grey with the rose. And Juno, thank you for the dreamy strings and the donut. 5 times 5. I think I missed those. I'm sorry. $30 shekels of silver is $1,100. That was the cost in wow, that's a lot. Everybody down there in the comments, you know, you're welcome to come up and request up. But I think it might be bots because you're just kind of like repeating stuff. A very expensive spotless lamb. Melchizedek, the high priest with no genealogy. I don't understand. Argument for utility seems popular these days. We have a request. I'm gonna go ahead and turn down the music. Good evening, Tristan. Are you over 18 and what's your religion?
I am 19 years old. 19 years old, and I am Christian.
Cool. What would you like to discuss?
So why do you think it's a cult? I think let's start there.
Okay. So, I think that it does a lot of, like, it sucks because I could give a definition, but that always just ends up arguing about definitions. So, I like to refer to something called the bite model. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I have not.
Okay, so the bite model is an idea of, it's called the bite model of authoritarian control. And so it stands for behavior, information, thought, and emotional control. And so I think that Christianity lands in a lot of these areas where this thing discusses. It's like a psychiatrist came up with this idea. And it just talks about, like, here are some things that cults do. And I think Christianity aligns to a lot of the things. So that's why it's a cult.
Yeah, so you think it's a cult because of that, of what you just said? Like, mainly? Like, that's your main belief why you think
that's
it's
how
a
I
cult?
would justify it, right? Like, that's, I think, the best way to justify it is to say that, well, here's how other people talk about cults. Here's signs of what a cult might be, and then look at Christianity and see, is that what it is? Doesn't that seem like a reasonable way to figure it out?
I think that's reasonable to your point of view. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Okay. Like, if you want, we can discuss that, or we can discuss any other aspect of Christianity, but I know that's the claim on the background, so I understand why you bring it up. So if that's what you're really interested in, we could do that. I'm just getting the trying to find the window right now so we could talk about it. Oh, there it is. Let me see if I can make this less. Okay, get this like that. And then I'll make this window smaller.
Were you born in a religious family or were you not?
Not.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to make this readable, but it's like that might help. There we go. That's the ticket. Okay, so there's some different different criteria that it goes over. So in the behavior control section, it talks about things like regulating an individual's physical reality. So I usually ask things like, do you believe demons are real? Like there's a spiritual realm and stuff like that.
Are you asking me? Yes, I do believe there are demons.
Yeah. And you believe it because of the religion, right? Like there's other evidence of it.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And so I think this is kind of like an example of how it regulates an individual's physical reality. I don't think that reality says that there are demons and there's a spiritual world and stuff, and it doesn't seem like that affects me at all. But people believing that there is one seems like a big deal. But so that's where I think, do you think that checks off that mark, or do you think that it's different?
I think that checks. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this one, dictate where, how, and with whom the member lives and associates or isolates. And so I would look at things like, in the book it says things like be of the world but not in it, something like that. I can't remember if it's like, I might have that inverse a little bit, but the idea is to like not be like the rest of society. You should be like sectioned off. And there's a lot of, I would say like maybe not biblically as much. There is stuff about, who you can associate with, like if they're gay or queer or whatever. It definitely says things like don't associate with people that don't worship your God. It says things like don't be unequally yoked. So would you say that it marks off number 2?
How you described it? Yes, I do.
Oh, how would you describe it? Do you think that it's not like, if I'm strawmanning it, I just need to know. That's just how I see it. But if you see it differently, then let me know.
No, I don't see it differently. I think you perfectly explained that.
Okay. When, how, and with whom member has sex. I think this one is like really clearly happening, but most religions have this restriction. But it is something that's on this list. But do you think that?
When, how, and with whom the member has, yeah. So I don't really get what this really means.
This line, or like the entire thing?
The line.
Like you can't have sex outside of marriage, right? Can't have sex with the same sex, that sort of thing.
I think that I don't think it's okay for that, if that makes sense. Like,
What's okay for that?
because it's a sinful behavior, if that makes sense.
Right, it's part of behavior control. They tell you it's a sinful behavior because they're controlling your behavior.
Right.
Like it just lines up perfectly with what a cult does. That's the point.
But I don't think the Lord will send you to hell for that, but it is sinful, yeah.
I feel like we're having different conversations.
Do you think that?
Because this has nothing to do with what the Lord will do. This has to do with why I think it's a cult.
Right. Like, it's not, so it's not a religion, you think? It's more of a cult, right?
Yeah. Like, I don't really know that religions exist. I think they're all cults, to be honest. But it's because of things like this that I can look at a list of attributes that a cult would have and say, does this check it off? Do I see it in the religion? And I say, seems like it's a cult.
So you think this cult, I'm just gonna say how you think, this cult, so you read this and you check off like each type of let's say, statement, and then if it aligns with the Bible, you
Or
are
theology.
theology.
Yeah. Because like any aspect, because there's a bunch of stuff that Christians believe that's not even in the Bible. That may be part of just the behavior control. For instance, sex outside of marriage. There's nothing in the Bible that restricts you to having sex with only within marriage. It's implied through some things, but it's not like a law or anything. And there's nothing in the Bible that restricts men from having more than one wife. They had plenty that had more than one wife in the Bible. So like these kinds of cultural things that we've taken on, the church also instills as behavior control, but they're not like biblical.
I agree with you about that. I agree with you. Like, I agree with third statement.
Okay. Yeah. So and some of these they're not gonna like some of them are gonna be very clearly not, a typical part of Christianity. So it's not like every one of these are gonna match. So far I think they've matched well. So control types of clothing and hairstyles. I do know that there's like a verse that talks about how women should dress, and what kind of hair they should have. They shouldn't have braided hair. Um, and I know that there's like stuff about men can't dress like women, stuff like that. So that's what I would point to as some of the restriction there. But I'm curious if you have any thoughts on that.
So you the cult, right? So you think the cult controls clothing and hairstyles for both genders? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I think that it's like especially for women, you're like members of the religion are expected to behave and act dress a certain way, right? Like if you're too slutty or too revealing or whatever, then you're shamed for it. Because there's stuff in the book about modesty.
Right. I don't really think this is the first one I really disagree with, and that's
Okay.
mainly because it's more of it's not really more of a how can I really explain this? I'm gonna give an example. So you know how like in the let's say in the Bible, right? They say men should not have long hair,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Okay.
Hairstyles.
Sure.
And this is kind of like weird to say, but in the Bible it claims that the Lord Jesus Christ has long hair. It is I guess it's wrong. There has been many people in the Bible that has long hair, but yet Jesus Christ doesn't really judge them for that when it comes to men.
Right, but there is scripture that says like women shouldn't have braided hair and they should dress modest, sorts of things. Right.
Well, that is not God saying that. That is other human beings lying on there. Like this is what I mean. Like I don't really think the Lord Jesus Christ actually cares too much. Present yourself and what gender you claim to be, and whatever the fourth statement was.
But the cult does. Like the cult cares about these things.
Right. The cult.
I mean,
because it's about women's clothing and hair and doesn't really affect you.
It's just strictly saying, does it say control what types of clothing and hairstyles you can have? And I'm pointing out verses where it does. That's all I'm doing. If you disagree, I guess we can move on because they're not like, it doesn't say like, I don't know what I'd expect it to say. That would be more controlling. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I guess you need Jesus to say it for it to like be the problem, but
yeah, I disagree with that statement. I apologize for that, but yeah.
I don't think that there's a whole lot of regulating diet. There is in the Old Testament, but I think most Christians read the verse about food and they just say I can eat whatever I want. So I think 5 isn't appropriate. Is not an appropriate aspect. I don't think that signifies anything. Your thoughts?
So, fasting is a bad thing?
No, I'm saying that I don't think that like Christianity necessarily pushes this that much at this point, right? The cult doesn't talk about regulating diet that much. You could fast. It doesn't matter. I'm saying that's not like a requirement. It's not like everyone in Christianity is fasting all the time, or like doing like it's common, but it's not like my understanding is not like something people do all the time.
Right.
Okay, so you think that this is actually representative of something in. I was trying to give it to you. Oh, Lent. That's true. There's Lent. That's
What does
Catholicism.
Lent mean?
Sorry?
What does he mean when he typed except for Lent? Like, what
Oh,
does
so
Lent
Lent is
mean?
a Catholic tradition, I believe, which is like where you give something up for Lent. And I think you give up food, the Eucharist. I don't know enough about Catholic stuff. Catholic stuff is totally foreign to me. It's a bunch of rituals.
Yeah. I agree with this statement. I actually do. Not
Okay.
much to really debate about that.
Okay, so you do think that it regulates diet, or which is that what you mean?
Yeah, like you can't really eat pork because that's sinful. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's in the Old Testament. Do you follow the laws of the Old Testament?
Yeah, I'm a yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So okay, so like you're on a whole nother level with this. Yeah, so I think like what's gonna happen, like it's not really gonna matter what I show you, right? Like, is that kind of probably true?
Right. Yeah, that's I just wanted to like see what your point of view was. Like I am open-minded to this, and I would actually would love for you like if you wanted to, I would love to hear you explain why the statements that you listed like 10 seconds ago
Mm-hmm.
connects to the Bible and like the Christianity belief in general. So yeah, that's why I was just listening to you.
The things I've been saying that I've been giving verses for, I've been like talking about it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I was to say about that.
And I backed up each one with verses from the Bible that talked about like why I believe they associate and that it's a cult. And so like I'm confused when you said that you don't know why I think that still. Or do you now?
About the cult, right?
Yeah, do you understand now why it's a cult and probably you should think so too?
I mean, you're kind of making me believe, but like I can't be like too quick to
That's a fair
this,
point.
like
I wouldn't expect you to take it
yeah.
all at once. But like what do you think a cult is? What is the difference to you? Like if we go through this whole thing and you might be like, oh wow, it does mark off a lot of things, but what would be the thing that you would have to, or would it matter? Does it matter if it's a cult? Like, is that bad?
I think cults are kind of bad, and the only reason why I think that is because they're quick to believe things without much evidence about it.
Okay. I think
That's
that
like I know
Christianity,
it's kind of lazy for me to say, but
I think
you
Christianity
said
is
what?
like a huge. So are you you're Christian though, right? Or are you Jewish?
I am Christian.
Okay. So I think Christianity causes a lot of people to believe things without evidence. Like it's kind of like part of the doctrine.
Yeah, just believe in faith, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you probably hear this a lot, but there's a lot of historical evidence about Christianity and Jesus Christ being alive and etc.
Oh, but like he didn't fulfill the prophecies. So like to me it doesn't matter if he resurrected even.
But would you think that's kind of like crazy, like if he did do that?
It would be insane, yeah. But I don't believe that he did. But I'm saying like it wouldn't be proof to me that he's the Messiah because it has nothing to do with being the Messiah. And since he can't fulfill Jeremiah 33, like he's just done. He's cooked.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was kind of bored. I just wanted to see what you would say. I think you're far more educated when it comes to this topic than I am. And yeah.
Okay. I had kind of a good conversation with you, Tristan. I thought it was very, cordial.
I mean, I'm kind of open-minded though. Like, I just want to hear what other people that don't believe in Christianity think. I don't think I am educated enough to convince you, but I would love to. So that's why I'm studying a little bit more. And me having this conversation with you kind of motivates me to study it a little bit more. But yeah.
I think that's cool. Yeah, read the Bible, dig into it. Like, I want to find reasons if God is real and it's a Christian God, and like I'm real close, right? I know enough about it. I can just say okay, but I don't see enough evidence that it's real. I see a lot of problems with it, and so I'm like, I don't know. And then I see things that are like, prophecy doesn't fulfill. Hold on, I gotta block somebody. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Do 22. Which one is that again? Somebody in chat saying to read Deuteronomy 22. Where's my Bible? Bible. Bible, not Bible. I was hoping it would just fill it in. Bible Gateway. What? Deuteronomy 22. 22. You shall not. Is this let me make sure. Anything or Deut or Leviticus? You shall not watch your neighbor's ox or sheep straying away and ignore them. You shall take them back to their owner. If the owner does not reside near you, or you don't know who the owner is, you shall bring it to your own house, and it shall remain with you until the owner claims it. Then you shall return it. You shall do the same with your neighbor's donkey. You shall do the same with your neighbor's garment. You shall do the same with anything else your neighbor loses, and you find. You may not withhold your help. Shall not see your neighbor's donkey. Not sure what I'm looking for in this. What is the relevant
Look for
thing?
number 13. Number 13.
Oh, okay. Laws concerning sexual relations. Suppose a man marries a woman, but after going into her, he dislikes her and makes up charges against her, slandering her by saying, I married this woman, but when I lay with her, I did not find evidence of her virginity. That's right. This is the cloth thing. Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
a problem. Do you know of this section?
I do. Yeah. That's why I recommended you reading that.
Okay, so you're familiar with it. What do you think of it? What do you think of that? God gave this law that like 40% of women don't bleed the first time and they die.
I think I personally think I don't think God wrote that down. Like, I don't think
Okay,
he thought that way, if that makes sense.
but why would you think that?
Mainly because he knows that humans are not all perfect because we have sinful nature, and we are born with it. That's why at first he did not, love us at first, but Jesus Christ asked for forgiveness for us
So do you
and
not
died
think
for our
any of the
sins.
laws are real?
I think some of them are not real. I think some of them are mainly made to control whoever believes.
But
That's why I
well,
wanted to hear you out.
how do you decide which ones are real and which ones aren't?
Mainly, okay, there are some historians that believe that some of these laws have been, I forgot what the word was called, but let's just say manipulative when it comes to the Christian Bible. It really depends which Bible you really read, because there's thousands of different type of Bibles you can read about Christianity.
Well, I mean, this is the NRSVUE, which is the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition, and it's what they use in like for scholars and stuff, scholarly work. And sorry, somebody in chat keeps distracting me. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so it tries to most closely translate the text of the Hebrew and the Greek into English and make it like clear what it's saying. And as far as like interpolation or things that are added later, there are some things that are like that. A lot of that's in the New Testament. You probably know where Jesus says, "Don't cast the first stone." Like that's added later. That's not in the earliest manuscripts that we have. But I don't know of any interpolations or changes to things like this. It would definitely be a problem with it. I would not be able to like use it as evidence that God did something bad. But I don't know how we would determine which laws are His and which laws aren't.
Right, I agree. That would be very egotistical for me to claim which laws is not from Jesus Christ and which laws are not. But yeah, yeah. You cooked me, bro. I am humble enough to admit that.
You're a wonderful guest. I really enjoyed this. I think though that you should like think about what it means to follow a God like this, right? If you're right and he didn't make the laws, then I guess it doesn't mean as much. um, like what do you think of? Well, what do you think of like? Are you familiar with Jeremiah 33? What I was talking about with that?
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not really that familiar about that.
Okay, I'm really excited about this. It's something I just found out. Basically, I mean, I think I've heard it a couple of times, but I hadn't heard anyone go into it too deeply. And second, I got water on my trackpad, and it's like it's causing my trackpad not to work. Okay, I have too many tabs here. Matthew, Corinthians, dude. So, like, if we look at, why is it always so hard to find? Oh, I know why. Because I'm on the wrong. I have a tab. I have 2 tabs of Bible verses at this point. I need to like consolidate this.
So what made you want to debate about Christianity and like that relates to Christianity in general?
Yeah, I would say like it's kind of part of deconstruction for me. I really wanted to do something to help people see like I felt tricked by this. I felt like I lost a lot to it. Just in like the way that I thought was kind of like changed early on, and I've had to like retrain my mind to like think differently. And if I had known some of the stuff that I know now, then like I would have done this a lot sooner. And so that's part of it. Part of it is like it seems like the religion is really bad for society. Like I don't see it doing a lot of good right now. Sam would like to help you. Do you want to let Sam up, Tristan?
Yeah, can Sam help me, please? Because I am kind of educated when it comes to Christianity as much as I am, because I am only 19 years old and I am trying to really.
Yeah, no, it's good. It happens a lot.
And-
I'm way older than a lot of people on this app. It's not fair. Hey Sam, are you over 18 and what's your religion?
I am over 18 and I am a Christian.
Okay. Yeah, how'd you want to help out?
Yeah, so I wanted to hop in on this chat because Tristan, obviously, and all respect to Tristan, I hear he's 19, but hasn't read a lot and hasn't heard critique of the Old Testament often before. And I can tell he's kind of struggling with some of the questions. So I just wanted to come in and help, especially as you're going to Jeremiah 33, which is kind of a banana peel that deconstruction TikToks like to discuss. And just thought I'd hop in and help him as you walk through Jeremiah 33.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool. Because I would like to hear like more about why it makes sense. Let me get the tabs and shrink up the window again. And where did it go?
Sam, can I ask how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 29.
Okay. Well, I'm glad is up here.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I
appreciate
could
it.
tell you're getting asked some stuff you hadn't been asked before.
Yeah.
You know, talking a lot about the kind of the prescriptive versus descriptive law of deuterocanonical texts and stuff like that. And so I'm ready to help because there's just kind of a lot of surface level critique being made that thought
is
maybe I
there
could help
surface
you out
level
before
critique?
you start spiraling.
Why don't we talk about the last thing we were talking about? Since it was surface level critique, you can probably help me with it, Sam.
So are we doing Jeremiah 33 or are we going to talk about the Old Testament law?
Well, I mean, I was going to do Jeremiah 33 until you said that it was a surface level critique I was doing of the law, and I'm just curious how you can fill in my, my knowledge of it.
So which one do you want to talk about? I'm willing to do either.
Okay, we'll start with Deuteronomy, I guess, because we can see like Tristan, we can see like what kind of a person you've got on your side, maybe. Before we get into like whether or not we want to trust their opinion on.
Sure, let's pull up that text we just had.
I'm getting to it. 1 second. Yeah, so laws concerning sexual relations. So why is this law good?
Yeah. So go back. Okay, you went
Yeah, I'm
to
moving
verse
too fast.
13.
Okay.
Yeah. So 13 and 14. And let's think about what laws in other ancient Near East contexts would have treated women and
Why do
how
I care
this
about
treats
that?
women.
Why
in
do I care about
in
that? Why do I
contrast.
care about that?
Why would you not care about that?
Because 40% of women do not bleed the first time that they have sex, and they would be stoned to death
Right,
under this law.
which is why this verse is there. I think we're misunderstanding this passage.
Oh,
So this passage is providing protection for women when a false claim is made about their purity.
how would it do that?
We'll read 13 and 14.
We'll read the whole thing. Suppose a man marries a woman, but after going into her, dislikes her, and makes up charges against her, slandering her by saying, I married this woman, but when I lay with her, I did not find evidence of her virginity. You know what that is, right, Sam? The evidence of the virginity?
Yeah, keep reading.
Do you know what it is?
Of course.
The father of the young woman and her mother shall then submit the evidence of the young woman's virginity to the elders of the city at the gate. The father of the young woman shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter in marriage to this man, but he dislikes her. Now he has made up charges against her, saying, I have evidence of your daughter's virginity. But here is the evidence of my daughter's virginity. Then they shall spread out the cloth, which is the evidence, right? Because she bleeds on the cloth when they have sex. Is that the idea?
Yeah, continue. Keep reading.
I just want to make sure that we are on the same page, Sam, of every step of the way, because Christians are so dishonest.
Okay.
Then they shall spread.
Whoa, okay. We don't need to escalate, Sarah. Just keep reading the text.
We do need to escalate because you're about to defend this nonsense. Then they shall spread out the cloth before the elders of the town. The elders of that town shall take the man and punish him. Shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, which they shall give to the young woman's father. Sam, we know why that is, right? Why do you think that would be?
Yeah, explain to me.
Yeah, because she's the property of her dad, right? Women are property.
Is that what you take from that text?
Why do you think it happens? Why do you think it happens, Sam?
Any culture?
Sam, why do you think it happens?
Okay, let's not interrupt. Is any culture where a dowry takes place? Is that where it's the female is treated as property, nothing more, nothing less? Is that your opinion?
I don't know, but I'm telling you that this is about her being property. I don't know about any culture, but I know that the culture of Israel treated women as property. So I'm not sure what your point is.
Did Jesus treat women as property?
Yes.
Did he?
Yeah.
Do you have textual evidence of that?
I can actually argue about that. I don't think he did.
Do you have textual evidence of Jesus treating women as property?
So we're pivoting, we're changing the topic to Jesus.
Well, you mentioned Jesus, so I would say you were doing.
When did I mention Jesus?
You just did. You mentioned you've been talking about
Tristan,
Jesus.
did you see how dishonest this is? Did you see how dishonest this is? We'll keep going. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, which they shall give to the young woman's father, because he has slandered a virgin of Israel. She shall not remain his wife. He shall not be permitted to divorce her as long as he lives. So not, right? Did he try to get her murdered? She has to stay with him now. If, however...
Wait, what about murder? I'm sorry.
Well, we're getting to it, right? If, however, this charge is true, that evidence of the young woman's virginity was not found, they shall bring the young woman out to the entrance of her father's house, and the men of her town shall stone her to death, because she committed a disgraceful act in Israel by prostituting herself in her father's house. You shall purge the evil from your midst. So, Sam, why don't we talk about this? 40% of women do not bleed the first time. They would not pass the test for this test, right? The evidence for this test?
So you're saying that the bleeding is evidence of virginity in this context, and that this is disproof of Christian ethic, or kind of what is your thrust here?
My thrust is that your God gave a law that doesn't understand how women work, and it puts them to death for no reason.
Well, this is not a law that Christians ascribe to under the new covenant.
Do you worship Yahweh?
And this is also, so what is the purpose of the Levitical law?
I don't fucking care.
Do you know?
Why would I care?
Well, if you're going to read it at a surface level, I would hope you would try to understand a little bit.
Sam, can you explain to me?
context.
Can you explain to me when it's appropriate to murder a woman for having sex?
Never. Which is why.
So why do
Jesus
you follow a
Christ,
God that said it was appropriate at times?
because he did not. This is descriptive, not prescriptive. Do you know what I mean by saying that?
I do know what you mean, but it's actually not true. You're just lying. Like, that's not what those words mean. This is not descriptive. This is prescriptive.
I'm sorry.
Why don't you define the words?
So this is describing a cultural context. It is not God prescribing how people should behave.
So when it says that they should do something, does that sound like a prescription? Or a description?
I'm sorry. Are you saying this is a cultural context,
So
and we
do
need
you
to
think-
read it within its cultural context?
No, we don't. Does your God
We
exist?
certainly do.
Does your
That's how
God
you
exist
read-
within a cultural context, Sam?
That's how you read.
Sam, no, it's
that's
not how you
that's
read.
we
It's not how you
all
read a
texts of
cult. It's not
antiquity.
how you read your God. Sam, you're being so dishonest. If this was Harry Potter, I'd agree with you. If this was the Iliad, I'd agree with you. If you didn't worship this monster, I'd agree with you.
Okay, so we're now bringing personal biases into this. We are reading an ancient Near Eastern text, which is breathing the same.
Tristan, do you want to hear Sam's rebuttal on? Or do you want to handle it yourself? Oh, Tristan, I think you're muted. I've invited you to unmute.
I'm sorry. You kind of cut off there when you were spoken. Like,
Do you want to keep Sam up to talk about Jeremiah 33 and the prophecies, or do you want to handle it yourself? Because this looks, I don't think he's doing a great job.
More educated than me when it comes to these topics. So yes, I am.
Okay, you think he's doing good?
I mean, not yes, I am. Yeah, I think yeah.
So you agree with him?
And
You agree with him largely that like this law is not prescriptive, like the words don't mean anything. That you agree with him on that?
The words don't mean anything. Is that what you said?
Right, because he's saying culturally, this is ancient, and who cares what it says? I'm saying your God said you should stone women alive to death. Sorry, because they had sex. And the problem with this, right? That you worship a God like this, and Sam is like, context, absolves this. So like, I don't know. Were you not listening, maybe, or like, what's going on?
I was listening. I just then they shall bring. Okay. So why do you think Jesus Christ said these things? Because
I mean, if you
honestly,
think he's God, I don't know, but he wrote laws because he doesn't like women.
I'm not real well educated enough to like debunk this fact, which why I think that's why you should keep Sam up here, because he is educated more than me when it comes to this topic.
He's just talking more confidently. He's not more educated than you. He knows more apologetics. That's not education. That's just he's confident about this nonsense. It is a reflection of the culture, and it's a reflection that God doesn't exist. Mormon boy? Like, that's the problem that Sam is not seeing. I don't care about the culture. This is the apologetic that every Christian uses. It doesn't matter. If God is God, he doesn't need to make a law that's wrong. Why have a wrong law?
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we're talking about the old covenant right now, which is a bad way to try to debunk Christianity.
Oh, it's
If
a
you're going
bad
to try
way
to
to do it.
debunk Christianity, you need to start with the historical person of Jesus,
Is that what I got to
and
do?
the claims of Jesus. Because right now you're arguing on a presupposition, and Christians
not.
don't
You're such an idiot.
stake their claim on Leviticus.
I'm not
They stake
arguing
their
on a
claim on Jesus
presupposition. You're
Christ.
so annoying. Okay, so this is the problem,
Anyone
right?
can say anyone
In
is annoying.
Hebrews- In Hebrews, right, it talks about the Melchizedek, right? Are you familiar with this, Sam? Sounds like you were.
I am familiar with the deck. Yes.
Yeah, so in here it talks about how Jesus is fulfilling that line, right? That he is the Melchizedek priest.
Yes.
Right.
He is the warrior, the priest, the king. He is fulfilling all of those archetypes.
As opposed to Levitical priesthood, right? Now, if perfection had been attainable through the Levitical priesthood, for the people received the law under this priesthood, what further need would there have been to speak of another priest arising according to the order of Melchizedek, rather than one according to the order of Aaron? So he's replacing the Levitical line, right?
That's correct, which is what also Jeremiah 33 says, which
We'll
is
see
interesting
about
that you brought
that.
that up.
We'll see about that. I'm
Okay,
interested.
Sarah.
I'm interested to see you defend that.
It's all right. Let's calm down a little bit. We're okay. We're getting there.
You're just so dishonest, Sam, that it's like it blows my mind. The words are going to say the exact opposite of what you just said.
Okay, let's keep reading.
Okay. For when there is a change in the priesthood, there is necessarily a change in the law as well. Now the one of whom these things are spoken belonged to another tribe from which no one has ever served at the altar, for it is evident that the Lord was descended from Judah, and in connection with that tribe, Moses said nothing about priests. It's even more obvious when another priest arises resembling Melchizedek, one who became a priest not through a legal requirement concerning physical descent, but through the power of an
Are we
indestructible
getting
life.
somewhere here?
I just want to make sure that we get through all of the... I thought there was at least one more thing that I wanted to hit on in this, but... Oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going.
Yeah, no, I know you don't. Unlike the other high priests, he has no need to offer sacrifices day after day, first for his own sins and then for his people. This he did once and for all when he offered himself. For the law appoints as high priests humans who are subject to weakness, but the word of the oath, which came later than the law, appoints a son who's been made perfect forever. So, can we agree that what this says is that Jesus is of the line of Melchizedek and not the Levites, and that he, or the Levitical priests, and there's not going to be any more sacrifices?
He is the final sacrifice.
And there
That's
will be
correct.
no more.
Jesus is the final sacrifice.
Right. So we go to Jeremiah and we look at Jeremiah 33. For thus says the Lord, David shall never lack a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel, and the Levitical priest shall never lack a man in my presence to offer burnt offerings, to make grain offerings, and to make sacrifices for all time. So what does this mean, this prophecy?
Yeah, we're bouncing around. We're playing some gymnastics with the text here. But for thus says the Lord, David shall never lack a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel. The line of David will never end. Jesus is of the line of David. We see that in Matthew in the genealogy. And the Levitical priest shall never lack a man in my presence to offer burnt offerings.
Yeah, where are those Levitical
to make grain
priests?
offerings? I'm sorry?
Where are the Levitical priests?
In what context? The Levitical priests were finalized by Christ Jesus. So the Levitical priests were making the way for Christ, and Christ was the ultimate sacrifice, both from the beginning of time and in the future and in the present.
Oh, of course. So when are they making the sacrifices? For all time?
I think you're conflating passages and kind of bouncing around to try to make an argument. So how about we back out?
Sam,
Let's not start at 17.
Sam, shut the fuck up, Sam. You can just explain it, right? So this prophecy about the Messiah says there'll be Levitical priests, sacrifices for all time. Hebrews says Jesus is a Melchizedek priest and there will be no more sacrifices. So now you just have to explain why these two things make sense. That's all you got to do. And stop insulting me and telling me that I'm reading it wrong and all this meta. Who cares? Just tell me the reason that it's true. I've invited you to unmute.
Where else do we see Melchizedek pop up in Scripture?
I don't know. Who cares?
Well, if you're going to make these claims, you should know what you're talking about. Where else does Melchizedek show up?
Make your point. If I don't know, just make your point.
Well, what does, when you read, when the ancient Near Eastern reader is hearing that Jesus is from the line of Melchizedek, what do they think of? That's important if you're going to make these claims.
Oh, it's important if you're going to make these claims. I have to know something about it. Can you tell me why the words say... Can you tell me why the words say that there'll be Levitical priests and that they'll be making sacrifices for all time? What does that mean?
The point is that Jesus Christ is the ultimate sacrifice from the line of Melchizedek, which is Jesus. Melchizedek appeared many times throughout the Old Testament. The line of Melchizedek is an archetype of a future priest, which will be fulfilled in Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
And so,
is this a prophecy about the Messiah? Prophecy about the Messiah? Is this a prophecy about the Messiah?
Well, a lot of ink has been spilled about if these final passages are prophesying.
So you're not sure. You don't know.
I'm just not gonna. Good theology is built on humility, not swagger on these texts.
Not swagger. No, it's because if this were about the Messiah, it defeats your Messiah. It's very clear.
It certainly does not. The line of Melchizedek and the Levites are very different things. Melchizedek was not a Jew.
I know that they're different things. That's why it defeats it.
Well, no, but you don't even know who Melchizedek is.
It doesn't matter if he's not in the line of the Levitical priest, and there's no more sacrifices, and this prophecy doesn't come true. It's just a fact.
I don't think you know what you're talking about because you don't even know who Melchizedek is. So you don't really know what's even being claimed in this passage. I think you should go back and do more research.
In this passage? I don't know what's being claimed in this passage.
More research.
Sam, I don't think Melchizedek appears in this passage. That's the problem.
Who are the Levitical priests? What is the line of Melchizedek?
My understanding, the Levitical priests are from one line, and then the Melchizedek is from another, right? Like it's a splitting between like Aaron or something, and it's like early on.
Okay, so I think that if you're going to make a claim like this and try to tell Tristan that you've got this slam dunk, that 2,000 years of discourse, you figured it out, you should understand who Melchizedek
argument to popularity, I guess. So Sam, do you want to tell me why the words don't mean words? Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's all swagger with you. Do you want to tell me why words don't mean words?
If you pull 6 verses out of context and make some broad brush claims, I'm gonna say maybe understand the context what you're reading with.
What's the context? This is a prophecy about the Messiah. Hebrews explicitly says that it's not going to be fulfilled.
Wait, so are we in Jeremiah?
You're unable to track what I'm doing?
So are you now comparing the author of Hebrews directly to Jeremiah's words?
That's fucking crazy. Okay, Tristan, I hope that you find the courage and the strength to leave this nonsense. I don't know if that looked as crazily off the rails to you as it did to me. I was a little bit like, I wonder what this guy's going to say about this, because I haven't been running this argument very long. But he had nothing. He has nothing. He can't address what I'm saying. And that's how this always goes. It's always going to be about context, and you have to defer to somebody else, and you have to defer to religion and authority. It's never about what it says.
I agree. I'm glad Sam was up here though, so I can learn more about this debate. So that's why I didn't say nothing much.
Okay.
And I learned a lot from this conversation that you and Sam had. And I am glad, host, that you're open to debate about this topic. And in the future, maybe, I don't know, I want to educate myself more and have a debate with you. And
awesome.
Yeah.
Tristan, I look forward to it. I think you're really cool. And you know what? I'm going to follow you. In fact, if I can, I don't know how I can. I don't normally want to follow Christians.
Yeah, but I mean, Sam did have some good points, though.
What do you think that were good points? Because I didn't think I heard any.
Like, none at all. Like, okay, honestly, please don't look at me any differently. But do you actually think Sam had no good points at all?
It was all deflection.
Can you elaborate? Like, I just want to
what were the points? Like, what were the points? You had no good. Like, all of it was deflection. All of it was it doesn't mean what it says. All of it was lies about how it's written. It doesn't matter. He didn't. Yeah, Sam. Terrible name. Sam didn't make one statement. He didn't say anything. Like that was impressive to you. I don't even know why there was nothing of substance to it. This is why I thought you would kick him when we went over the other lines, because it was just like him talking about how it's descriptive and not prescriptive, and it's nonsense.
Yeah, well, I'm not that well educated. Like, I keep on saying educated, but it's true. Sorry.
Excuse you.
That was random. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It happens.
Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah. I didn't even know some of the things that he was saying to you, so that's why I stayed in this live, to learn more from Sam and to learn more from you too, because I see that you're educated about this topic too. But yeah,
that's a fair point. Like, if you haven't heard what he's saying, it might sound a little more novel or something. It's something I've heard quite a bit, and I saw all his deflection. None of it. So, like, the points that he brought up with the first verses, he was talking. It's descriptive, not prescriptive. Well, that doesn't even make sense. It describes a law, but it prescribes what to do when people break the law. It's prescriptive. And then, like, secondly, like, it doesn't matter the culture and the context. To me, I know that there's like this new covenant and this idea that like you don't follow the law, but that's not the question. The question isn't should you follow the law. The question is why does it exist at all? And these are the questions that apologists cannot answer. It's all about context and how the history says these different things. But if it's God, if it's an all-powerful, all-good God, these laws shouldn't exist. And so then you have to figure out, like, well, why are they there? I can't remember if was it you or Sam that said it was interpolation.
I don't think I'm smart enough to say that. That was Sam.
I think I might have just said it. It was like putting it in the when you have a newer version and it has something in it that's not there. I think we talked about it, the stoning thing and.
Correct. Yep.
Well, anyway, no, you are smart enough. I think you're a little too humble too. Like you're very, well spoken and kind and stuff. So that'll get you far.
I appreciate that. And the main reason why I would like to debate about you in the future is because mainly I want to save you, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
if you think I'm going to hell or
everyone-
something, that definitely makes sense.
Well, you don't believe in Christianity, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like one of the I want to save you, so that's why I want to educate myself more to save you, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. It was nice talking to you. I actually enjoyed this a lot.
Cool. Thanks, Tristan.
Yep.
Have a good one.
You too.
Okay. Let's go ahead and tap the screen, share the live. I'm gonna go for I'm gonna do this one last guest and then I'll probably get off, but we'll take this for a little bit. So we'll go to our very next guest, Lucas. Hi, Lucas. Are you over 18 and what's your religion?
I am over 18 and I am a Christian.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I thought you had the prompts and I was just defending.
Sure.
Wrong.
I mean, it's either way.
I wanted
whatever.
am I able to add a little context to what you guys were just talking about in Jeremiah 33?
Yes. Do you know more about this?
Yeah. You want to turn to Hebrews 13?
Hebrews 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And verse 15 is where that prophecy is fulfilled.
Through him, then, let us continually offer a sacrifice of praise to God, that is the fruit of lips that confess his name. Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God. How does this fulfill the...
So we are, through Jesus, we are made priests. We are priests with the Holy Spirit. So us offering sacrifices, we are the fulfillment of the priest continually offering sacrifices. Does that make sense?
No, because it says, they'll never lack a man in my presence to offer burnt offerings, grain offerings, and to make sacrifices for all time. And so, like, we're not doing those things, and the Levitical line doesn't exist anymore. So, like, just saying, like, we're all priests now and we offer sacrifices, that doesn't mean anything. This doesn't even say anything. It just says, like, that their praise is a sacrifice. This is, like, metaphorical.
Like, are you saying I'm claiming that it's a metaphorical?
No, I think that I'm claiming it's metaphorical. You're saying I think that it fulfills the prophecy, like, directly, and I don't think that it does.
I think it fulfills the sacrificial element. Where your issue with it was that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Your issue with it was that we're no longer offering sacrifices because Christ sacrificed once for all time. That was the verse in Hebrews that you.
So let me put it this way, right? When I read this prophecy, it has a very specific way that it seems like God is saying this. It doesn't make sense to me that God is actually meaning he's going to send a final sacrifice and then we will make sacrifices through praise or something. That doesn't make any sense. This is very specifically talking about the sacrifices they used to make in the Old Testament. Like, to say that we should expect it to change doesn't make sense to me, and it seems like a quote from Hebrews.
Well, I think you're going to say I'm deflecting by saying the new covenant, but the sacrificial system changes when Jesus.
Well,
so sacrifices take on a new light, right?
So imagine though that that's not true. That Jesus didn't fulfill the prophecies like this one. Therefore, it just doesn't make any sense. Like you can say whatever you want, but it doesn't mean that it's true. And when we look at this prophecy, it just means that it can't be fulfilled because sacrifices won't be continuing for all time. Saying,
No,
well,
but
we're a different sacrifice now because like of imaginary spiritual stuff, that doesn't mean that doesn't help. I don't know. It's just like an insane
okay.
amount of cope to me.
Okay. The Bible, when it was written, right? Jeremiah, for example. The Christian view is that Jeremiah wrote it and the Holy Spirit through him, right?
I suppose
So
that's the
from
view, yeah.
So from Jeremiah's perspective, he this is where context, I think the previous guest, forgive me, I'm forgetting his name, but he had this right. I just don't know if he had the words to describe it. Jeremiah was a Jewish man at the time, and he knew the sacrificial system. Now, when they were expecting a Messiah, again, he's trying to uncover revelation from the Holy
He's
Spirit.
not uncovering. He's saying directly what God said. Like this cope of like, he doesn't know exactly what it is. Like that might work, I guess, if you need to stay in the religion, but it's just clear. God's saying a thing and it doesn't get fulfilled.
Do you think that's what I'm doing?
Yeah.
You think I'm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like this whole preamble about like, you know, Jeremiah's writing it and, you know, he's got the Holy Spirit. That's all you're doing. That's all that is.
Sure. But do you understand why I'm saying that?
Right. Because it's a cope. Because it's the only way to get out of this.
Well, that's a straw man, right? What am I actually?
Oh, you're right. There are other ways to get out of it. But what you're doing is you're trying to say, like, this doesn't hold up as strongly as you think. It can have multiple meanings. God is working through, like, these dual fulfillment things or whatever. All these copes, right? It has nothing to do with it because the words say things that they mean. And if we just want to say that they mean different things, then, like, you can just mean anything. It just doesn't matter.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying Jeremiah was making a prophecy based off of what he knew. He knew the sacrificial system.
No.
That he knew.
That doesn't make
sense. Know that God was
That's
going
not what
to
he was
change
doing.
it.
You're lying.
Okay. Tell me how I'm lying.
Thus says the Lord. Jeremiah's not doing anything.
Yeah,
Jeremiah's taking dictation.
You're right. Okay. How is Jeremiah talking to the Lord? Do you think it's face to face? Do you think it's God talking to him?
It's imaginary. God's not real.
Okay. How do you think the text is displaying this?
I don't know. However, people normally talk to God. What are you saying that God's just unreliable in how he converses? Is that your point?
No, I'm saying he uses vessels to portray his message. Similarly, when someone nowadays Christians say
right, but we can't trust when it says that God says something. We can't trust that God means that. It might mean other things, or it might mean entirely different things.
We established that there were no lies told. The sacrificial system, there are still people doing sacrifices. It just doesn't look like how Jeremiah thought it would.
No, that's making things up. That is nothing. What are the sacrifices?
That this text says?
No, what are the sacrifices being done? Are there any animals, burnt offerings, grain offerings, any sacrifices being made?
Okay, I think you're misunderstanding like the contents of the new covenant.
Am I out of my mind? What's happening?
And how they relate to prophecy. For example, Isaiah 7, when it talks about the virgin birth, right?
Do you have like the ability to imagine that Jesus is not the Messiah?
Well, now we're making claims about Jesus. We could go to
That's the thing we are talking about the whole time. That's what this prophecy is about. It's about the Messiah.
Yeah.
So can you take the position that God is giving a command through Jeremiah that talks about burnt offerings and grain offerings and sacrifices for all time, and then Jesus comes along and he dies, and somebody says, well, God actually said he meant this other thing. Why would I take that to be true? Why wouldn't I just say, like, no, you're just lying to make it work? It doesn't work.
So here's the logic I'm using. The text says that there will be, it says burnt offerings, grain offerings, and sacrifices to me for all time, is what my translation says.
Yes.
And I'm saying that the sacrifices are happening for
By
all
Levitical
time. They will.
priests?
Yep, that's us. That's the Christians.
We're Levitical priests. How are we Levitical priests?
Because we have the Holy Spirit.
That's not how you become a Levitical priest. It's like a particular bloodline.
Yeah, it's the same thing with when Jesus says, or I think it's Paul that says, there's no longer Jew nor Gentile, meaning there's no longer like bloodlines or anything like
Right.
that.
So remember when
they're
we said
just
like we can't trust that the
free.
New Testament is actually true, that these things make sense because it's just people could be making it up to make it work with the Old Testament.
They could be making up the New Testament to make it work with the Old Testament.
When Paul writes things, it's not necessarily inspired by God. None of this is. You have to be able to
Why do you say
understand that you can, if it's thousands of years later and they've read these texts and then they see Jesus and they have these things, they're like, I really want him to be the Messiah. How can we make that work? Well, maybe it's a spiritual thing. Maybe it's like this other thing. Maybe we're all priests and there's no whatever. They're just making it up. It's just because things like this are in the way.
What would be in it for them?
To continue the cult. Like Paul obviously got a huge amount of power in the cult.
Have you read Philippians or Timothy? 1 Timothy?
Yeah, what about them though?
Do you know where Paul writes them from?
Is he in jail?
Yeah, he's in prison, and he's actually kind of being tortured in prison.
Being tortured. That's too bad. Yeah, it doesn't mean he didn't have control over people. You're still
okay, but
citing his works.
Here's what I'll say to you. People don't make things up to torture themselves, and if they are making it up, they typically will deny it once they.
Do you
once
think
they're faced with that.
Joseph Smith was a real prophet of God, the creator of the Mormon Church?
No.
He died for his faith. He believed it was true.
Yeah, he died. He didn't die by for his beliefs though. He just got killed.
Okay, so you don't think
right?
My understanding is he died for the belief.
I could be wrong in that.
Death mask. That's not what I'm looking for. It auto-corrected. Joseph Smith, founder.
Yeah,
tell
why
me about the death? Just tell me about the death. Sorry,
yeah,
it won't give me the.
What's your name, by the way? I didn't catch it.
Oh, Sarah.
Sarah, nice to meet you. I'm Lucas.
Nice to meet you, Lucas. Where's the? Oh, looking for this. Destruction of the arrest, attempt to martial law, Smith surrenders, incarceration, attack. Consequences in the latter day. When does he die? He must have died.
I think he's still around, according to Mormon doctrine. I'm just kidding.
Smith was retained at Carthage Hall and were soon joined by William Richards, John Fulmer, two other associates accompanied Smith. Ford left Nauvoo not long after Smith was jailed. The anti-Mormon Carthage Greys, a local militia, were assigned to protect the brothers. Jones, who were present, forwarded several threats against Joseph made by members of the Greys, all of which were dismissed. On Thursday morning, church leader Cyrus Wheelock, having obtained a pass from Ford, visited Smith in jail. The day was raining. Wheelock used the opportunity to hide a small pepper box pistol overcoat, which had belonged to Taylor. Most visitors were rigidly searched, but the guards forgot to check. Smith took Wilcox's gun and gave Fulmer's gun
killing people
before a trial could be held. When does he die?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just don't know how he died.
Well, we don't have to go into this right now. I can look into it later.
Yeah, sure.
What was our point?
My claim was just people don't willingly die or endure torture for things they know to be false.
Okay. Well, even if I believe that Paul believed it or whatever, and he wasn't doing it for power or whatever, he could have received quote unquote revelation, which is coping. It's just, to me, it just seems like cope. I see no reason to believe that the words in the if the Old Testament is true, like why would I think that God's going to change? I guess.
Well, I don't think he changed. I think he got we he is revealed in a different way through the person of Jesus, right?
No, because like the problem is that it says a thing and then later stuff changes. Like
Like
just
what? Are you still are we still on the Jeremiah 33 one?
yeah, I'm trying to find it again. How did I lose the tab?
Jeremiah 33:17. But yeah, I think that's just a matter, like, simply I think it's a matter of Jeremiah. Um let's put it this way. Holy Spirit told Jeremiah that sacrifices are going to happen for all time, and that was Jeremiah's revelation, and it's through Levitical priests. Obviously, Jeremiah has no knowing of what a Christian is, who Jesus is, and even how Jesus is going to save his people, or how Yahweh is going to save his people.
Does God know those
So
things?
yeah, but again,
So why
like
didn't
I
he
said,
write those things?
God's not writing the book.
I'm
Jeremiah
sorry.
is.
No, I understand that, but God's telling
Yeah.
him what to write. So like
Yeah, and it doesn't say whether it's like a full-blown conversation or not, and based off of how God typically operates, I'm going to assume it wasn't, because God doesn't talk to people.
So
He
the word of the
reveals
Lord
things
came
through
to Jeremiah a
dreams,
second
visions.
time while he was still confined in the court of the guard. How the word of the Lord
yeah.
comes, but it sounds like what you're saying is that God is just unable to get out what he wants Jeremiah to put down, or that Jeremiah
No,
fails in doing it.
I think he put down exactly what he wanted him to, because one thing about prophecy, if we're holding to Christian doctrine,
Yeah, no, we're not. Like
they-
that's the whole point. The whole point is I don't think you should hold.
I am.
I know
and
you are,
think-
but it's a problem, right? It's a thing that you shouldn't do because it doesn't make sense. If you're trying to find out whether a prophecy is fulfilled, you can't say, "Well, the doctrine says that it is, and so therefore it is." You
Well,
have
I
to
was gonna
look at it
explain-
more like objectively.
Well, I think that that the difference between a Christian and a non-Christian is not whether they the knowledge aspect of it. I think that goes completely against what the Bible says. I think it comes down to a matter of faith, right? Which in Hebrews 11:1 is the evidence of things unseen.
Okay, so ultimately, you don't care if the prophecies are fulfilled because the book says they are, and so you will accept that.
No, I think there's a perfectly logical way to look
No,
at it.
there is not. No, there literally is not. There literally is not.
I
We
just
just went
explained
over
to
it.
you.
Yeah, I know. We just
Yeah.
went over it, and it's nonsense. Like it's crazy nonsense.
And that's what I'm saying. I think you think it's nonsense. To me, it seems sound.
No, it doesn't seem sound. You're just saying
let's
that.
see. Then faith in Santa is proof he exists. What does that mean, Krieger?
What?
Sorry, I'm reading chat. Someone added me.
Oh. Faith in Santa is proof he exists. Yeah, like your
Knowledge is the
argument. Let me just
difference
steel man the
between
argument. Let me make sure they understand the argument. The argument is
Okay.
the New Testament explains how these things are fulfilled, and so they are fulfilled, and you believe that on faith.
Say it one more time.
The New Testament explains how these things are fulfilled, and so they are fulfilled, and you believe that on faith.
Yes.
Okay. That's a terrible way to determine things.
Why is that?
I think that the New Testament fulfills that I'm the Messiah, and I believe that on faith.
Okay. Well, you have to.
I don't have to do anything. It's faith. I have special revelation. The text actually. So the problem is that, like, I'm the new Levitical priest. You didn't know this. This is happening now, though. I'm the new Levitical priest, and I'm going to write this down tonight that I'm the Levitical priest and that people are going to give me offerings and stuff, and that will fulfill this prophecy, and I'll supplant Jesus.
Again, the claims you make don't have weight.
Right.
In
Why
the
is
same
that?
way Jesus is do.
Jesus didn't say anything about this.
These are in light of Jesus, though.
No, you're misunderstanding.
These are about Jesus.
You're misunderstanding. Jesus is mentioned a little bit in the New Testament. He says a little bit of things. He doesn't say anything about this particular thing. Other people filled it in later.
Right. Yeah, that's what the whole book of Hebrews is about.
And that's the problem, right? It's cope. It's a book of cope.
So you're okay. Let me try and steel man what you're saying. Your whole thing is that because Hebrews was written later, the author of Hebrews is going back and trying to explain away these prophecies.
It seems that way to me.
Okay, and I'll explain why I think that's or at least even if that is the case, the fact that they are able to adequately explain things to such a degree, I think it is evidence more so than not that this is fulfilled prophecy. No,
it doesn't explain things to any degree. Like it's crazy cope. So to say that here where it says that David will never lack a man to set on the house of Israel, the throne of the house of Israel, to then say like, oh well, that's some spiritual thing, and that actually like doesn't mean what it says is cope.
Well, I think God deals mostly in spiritual. He
well, you only
rarely
think that because of the Christianity you believe in. Like the Jewish people did not believe that God dealt so strictly in spiritual stuff. God was like present. God was present. Yes, God was present with them.
When David, no, sorry, not David. When Daniel, have you read the book of Daniel?
I don't think I've read the whole book. No.
Just flip to Daniel 7, where this is kind of a side quest. But
well, what is the point? Like, just tell me what it says. And
that was just the first chapter that came to mind that like heavily deals in revelatory stuff, and as is the case with most apocalyptic literature, I'm sure you know. And there's a ton of that in the Old Testament.
Right. No, but
and actually,
does it actually deal with saying that priesthoods are spiritual, that thrones are spiritual? These are the things that are the problems. These are the things that I don't think are actually like. What I'm saying is that in the Old Testament, these kinds of things were to be literal. Like, there's no reason to think they're metaphors.
Yes, you're right. They're written so like when Moses is writing the Levitical law, he's writing them as literal, right?
No, but this prophecy as well. The prophecy is meant to be that David will never lack a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel. The Levitical priest shall never lack a man in my presence to offer burnt offerings, to make grain offerings, to make sacrifices at all time. There's no reason to believe this means anything other than what it says. And then Hebrews comes along and says, actually, you're all Levitical priests or something, which doesn't make any sense. Because it actually says that the Levitical priests will never lack a man to make the offering. So I think it's saying that the Messiah will be doing the offerings.
I think the fundamental difference between what are Levitical priests?
Priests of the line of they have a bloodline of from Levi, I think.
Yeah, but why are they there and why are they important?
I don't remember the lore.
I like the word lore.
I mean,
they're relevant because they are the ones who make the sacrifices, right?
Yes.
That's kind of what this text is saying, anyways. And so if that's the spiritual significance of a Levitical priest is giving sacrifices.
No. Where did you get this significance?
Well, that's their job.
It's a physical significance. It's a physical significance. Like, don't throw words in that don't mean anything.
Yeah, but they're physically offering sacrifices, and it says
it's God's food.
It was a pleasing aroma to the Lord, right?
Yeah, it's God's food.
Yeah, it's kind of anthropomorphizing God.
Yes,
but we know that God's not physical.
Well, you
via
think
other
that.
teachings
You
of the
think
Bible.
that. But the Old
No,
Testament
via
thought that God was very present.
Yeah, in spirit, right?
And physically.
Where does it say that?
Doesn't he walk with Moses, I think? He comes down as the burning bush. He comes down, I think.
Yeah, a burning bush. That's not physical. That's like if the person being inside of a burning bush was physical, they would be burning, right?
It's not a person.
So
He is the bush.
Yeah, he encompasses the bush.
Physically.
Something and not every bush is God, right?
It doesn't
Not
matter.
every bush is talking
It's not
to
really
you.
important.
The
point is that like
the pillar of cloud
adding in that it's a spiritual priest thing doesn't mean anything. The priests were a part of a line that they had to be for this prophecy to make sense, and then it had to make these offerings for this messianic prophecy. That's like the whole
and
point.
My whole point is that that the significance of sacrifices is not a physical significance, and Jesus' sacrifice is
That's not true.
exemplified.
Well, I mean, like, okay, I mean, it's in the sense that like it was supposed to be transferring sins, right? The sacrifice was to transfer sins.
Yeah, that's very spiritual.
It has nothing to do with Levitical priests and all that shit, right? Like, it's just that God chose certain people of a certain bloodline, and they said they had to make these sacrifices. Yes, it's to get rid of the spiritual idea of sin, the concept thing. It doesn't mean that everything about this is spiritual. It just means that aspect of it is like woo-woo.
Well, the whole Levitical law is there for the spiritual, for the atonement of sins, for the purification of self, for the cleaning. You know what I'm saying? And all
I
of those
don't know how this
are
relates to the prophecy, though.
So I'll reel it in.
Okay.
If the offerings that are being burnt are a symbol of something else or have spiritual significance, who's to say that when we offer our praises, we aren't doing the same thing that a grain offering or a burnt offering?
God's to say, because those are words that mean things.
I'm saying there's a depth that burnt offerings and grain offerings hold that praise also holds.
Why would I believe that?
I think the scriptures adequately describe that through the spiritual significance of the law and of offerings and all that stuff. And I think praise in the same way is very spiritual. There's not a physical description of praise.
Why would praise be a sacrifice?
That's a very good question.
It's the only thing that we possess that God does. It's the only thing that we have to offer to God. God has
a sacrifice is like when you lose something. You don't lose anything by praising God, except maybe your sanity, I guess. Like, what are you losing? Your autonomy?
I think it's a transfer of things.
No, it is not. That's giving something to someone. A sacrifice is when you don't want to lose a thing and you lose it. You willingly give it up. That's what it is. Like when God gave up his life, Jesus, sacrifice, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, he sacrificed for us. Right?
So why is praise a sacrifice? Why would praise be a sacrifice?
Yeah, because it's something that we offer up to God.
But it's not like you lose anything by doing it.
Sacrifice is not inherently mean.
Words don't ever mean words with Christians.
No, I appreciate
an act of slaughtering an animal or person or surrendering a possession as an offering to God or divine supernatural figure.
Yeah, that's a
offer or kill as a religious sacrifice.
The top one is what I said. Surrendering a possession. That's praise is a possession.
Praise is not a possession. That doesn't make any sense. An act of giving up something valued of something else regarded as more important or worthy. That's what I'm referring to.
Tell me why praise isn't a possession.
Because possessions are physical.
Well,
To possess something is a physical thing.
What
I mean,
we're
like,
dealing-
unless you're
what we're
talking about an
dealing-
attribute or something, but like that's a very like a conceptual thing. It doesn't make sense to me that praise would be a possession.
Here's what I'm gathering.
Can you give praise to another person physically? Can you give it to them?
Absolutely, great job. I appreciate your arguments. That's me giving you praise.
And what did you lose?
The possession of the praise.
So you can't say that anymore?
I can. I have a lot of praise I can give.
I mean, you'll never run out.
I will run out of time, and that will be time that I can't can't praise, right?
That's a huge cope. So, do you think that sacrifice? Okay. Do you think praise is sacrifice because you give praise in a metaphorical sense, and and sacrifices is about giving, and it has nothing to do with losing
or surrendering? That would be I like that definition that you pulled up. That's a more adequate description of praise. It's a surrender. It's a surrender of self and of being.
But it's a possession. You're not surrendering self and being. You're not giving anything up.
Well, Romans 12:1 says, "Offer your lives as a living sacrifice that's holy and pleasing to the Lord," and that's the purest form of worship.
Okay,
right?
So ultimately, the words never mean what they say.
I think I described pretty well. At least, okay. Can you grant me this? At least, from a religious perspective, you can see why it's not a problem to me if you believe the things that I believe.
I don't see why anyone would believe it. It seems like cope.
But if
I don't see, I honestly do not know how it is a not a problem because I see it as a problem. So I don't know how someone can't. Do you know what I mean?
I know you see it as a problem, and I'll say this. I think it's because you don't believe in the spiritual aspect of these things, right? You don't believe in sin or like
so
the metaphorical.
Lucas, all you're doing is saying I presuppose it's true and therefore it's true. That's not a way to find out if it's true.
No, I gave logical arguments as to why it's sound with the presupposition that praise and sin is
no.
Thing.
Stop for a second. You presuppose that everything in the New Testament is true to make the prophecy work.
This is what I'm saying, though. This is why Hebrews 11:1 is important, because sin and praise and stuff are things not seen.
This is an insane cope. I think you should think about this from an outside perspective. You do not have evidence. Stop saying that. What evidence do you have? What evidence do you have of this?
Of sin, of praise. I gave you.
You have evidence of spiritual things?
Praise is a denial of ego. I like that.
Lucas, I'm gonna go to sleep or something. Thanks for coming up. I hope you have a good night.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Before we go.
Yeah.
I just want to say I appreciate that you do this. I would ask that it seems like you come into these based off the two that I saw. I think this is just the mind of especially a debater. So I mean, I appreciate it. I understand it. But you come in with the determination that you're right, and everyone does this to an extent.
I'd hope so. I'm defending my point of view.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I think it destroys the grounds for a
disagree.
For a
I think actually you did the exact thing that you're claiming that I did.
Yes. Well, from my point of view, we're dealing. Have you seen the C.S. Lewis quote that says Christianity is either of infinite importance or of no importance? It can't be of medium importance.
Have you seen the Voltaire quote that says, if you can make people believe in absurdities, you can make them commit atrocities?
if you can make them believe in absurdities, you can make them commit atrocities.
Yeah. That's about
I don't think
Christianity and
that's
religion.
was the person you just mentioned a Marxist?
Voltaire? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Marx
that
is
seems
way
weird.
after Voltaire.
Oh, sure. Okay, so maybe Marx got his. But I think, regardless of what,
That's interesting.
of
You
all
think
of
you think that atheist thought comes from Marx? You think that Marx invented the idea of disliking religion?
I think that he certainly made it popular in the sense of communism.
You are brainwashed. This has nothing to do with
Why
communism.
No, I know. I'm saying the rise of
No, I don't think that's true.
anti-theism.
Why would you think that? Why would I take that
Was gained through
to be the case?
That communism was a ideology that was very publicly embraced, and a part of it is anti-theism.
Most atheists I know are not communists, so I don't have any idea why I would think.
No,
that it's like
I'm not saying
atheism.
that all atheists are communists. I'm saying that communism,
no, it's just the problem.
atheism.
Like the funny thing is that like I quoted like a philosopher, and you
Sure.
connected it
and
to a different
I just
philosopher.
made a silly remark. I made a silly remark.
I just want to Lucas, I know, but I want to point something out to you, is that you made this association because something else told you that that's the association you should make, that Marx and communism is bad because I don't like religion, and so you think anyone that says anything about it must come from Marx. Like it's a bad.
Well,
way
I was asking whether they were related. I'm not saying that they. It sounded like,
but there's no at all no. There's
made.
Just no reason to believe it.
For in the same light, if you said something that sounded like Jesus, I would ask, did that come from Jesus? You know, even if it wasn't from Jesus specifically. Like,
but I said who it was from. I said it was from Voltaire.
Yeah, and I didn't know if Voltaire and Marx were friends or something like that. I'm not familiar with Voltaire.
I don't know if you're getting my point.
Maybe I'm not.
My point is that I think you've been indoctrinated into believing that communism bad because Marx bad because he doesn't like religion.
I never said communism is bad.
Okay, so you're in favor of communism.
Well, I didn't say that either.
Interesting. So you're just lying or something.
No, I think that there's good and bad in in almost everything.
All right. I'm gonna go. You're too nice. You're too nice. I don't want to be mean to you, but like you're kind of like jumping all over the place.
I appreciate that. I apologize. I tend to do that, but
okay, it's late.
I would, if at some point maybe shoot me a message or something at some point off of stream where there's not a kind of an audience where we have to. I feel like there's a sense of ego tied, and I think it's the same for me as well. I think I need to adequately explain Christianity, and I can't give an inch. You know what I'm saying? And I think if you're up to it, having a conversation outside of a stream where that side of things is dropped, I think
so
I would enjoy that.
I wouldn't probably enjoy it. Because I think it would be like this. I don't think it would be any different.
You think it would?
Yeah. I have the exact same points that I had from the beginning, and no one has said anything that changed my mind on them. I don't know what else I would do differently.
I think, and maybe it's also the case that I think maybe more discussion is to be had. That might also be the case, but
I think it's important to do it like it's nice to have, sit down discussions. I would rather talk about this with somebody that like is really well versed in it. Like I want to know more about it and like what people think of it and that sort of thing. Not just like let's talk about what random people think. So I think it's better to do it like these kinds of things in public. I can get a random amount of like different people that have different aspects of it, and they can point things out to me.
Do you think I was well versed or no?
I mean, yes, but I don't really know. Besides like traditional politics, it's not something I could have just found by looking it up.
Yeah, and I think that's the case with a lot of things, and I think it just takes someone pointing us in the right direction that helps us in that road, because it's difficult to look for things if we don't know what we're looking for.
Mhm.
So I think that's what I was saying. I think more discussion needs to be had, or could be had, because I think that I would love to hear some more of your oppositions to the faith, and I would hope that I can maybe point you in the direction, or at least enlighten you on what a Christian might say to that.
Well, I mean, like, I was a Christian for decades, so like I have a
Oh,
pretty
really?
good idea. Oh, yeah.
I
I
didn't
thought
even
that
know that.
might have been apparent or whatever, but yeah, I
Oh,
was a Christian for a long time.
what? If you don't mind me asking, what turned you away? Was it just the logical side of things, or was there something
No,
else?
it was God not showing up was like probably the first problem. Was like
Mm,
realizing that like my relationship with God wasn't what I hoped, I guess, where I thought that there would be like a two-way thing. And when I realized
yes,
that
yeah.
like it's always one way, I was like, oh, well, there's just
Mm,
no reason to keep asking and talking to God. Like he's not interested in me. And so I was like, I'm gonna
right.
like live a
Yeah.
good life. I'm gonna go to church and continue to believe in God, but like we're not in connection or something. And then my
Mm,
next thing was realizing that the feeling of the Holy Spirit wasn't real, because that's just like a neurological effect, like a body effect or whatever,
oh,
physiological, I
yeah.
guess.
Okay.
And so like realizing that that I'd been told that the feelings I was feeling at church were God, it was a spiritual thing, and I was told that all these different things, and it just was like eventually I just realized like this isn't real, like this isn't actually what it
Mm.
says.
Yeah, I know you're going to sleep. I would love to learn more about that. Would you mind if I messaged you some other time we could
I'm
chat about that?
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do that. But I mean, I make
Oh,
videos
okay.
and stuff. You could follow me. I've got stuff on my YouTube channel that talks about it. I'm gonna probably make some more about it. So
Sure, okay. I would love to see more about that, and hopefully we can chat again soon on um
okay,
maybe some of
yeah,
those things.
yeah. Think about this stuff. If you have any good reason for me to believe that the New Testament authors weren't just coping in Hebrews, then like that's bring me that. But like I don't know why I would take.
I can look more into that. You know, this is the first time I'm hearing this critique, so I was just going based off of previous knowledge.
It was a pretty good rebuttal. I liked the conversation. I liked
I
seeing some more
appreciate
stuff.
that. I try, you know.
Thanks.
So,
Yeah.
all right, but yeah, good night. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was a pleasure interacting with the people in chat. Some of them are fun. So,
A lot of my
yeah,
audience is really great.
yeah.
Most
Krieger,
of my
I don't
regulars are
think this
great.
person Krieger likes me very much, but
Krieger.
I know it. What's there not to love, right? Alrighty,
All right, Lucas.
alrighty.
Have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one, Sarah.
Okay, thanks. Okay,
Yeah.
we had guests at the end that I thought went really well. It was nice talking. Nobody like steered into like crazy pivots. Yeah, leave a comment on the video on YouTube. It's good for engagement. You could do that. I saw I think GeForce's partner is here. Welcome to the chat. It was good to see you, and anyone else that's new. Yeah, subscribe to me on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, come to TikTok. If you're on TikTok, come to YouTube. YouTube has more, honestly. I haven't figured out how I'm going to Sarah said I'm great and I agree. If you become a member on YouTube, you can have access to Discord. I have a Discord server where I will like notify when I go live. Let's see. Oh, I'm still doing it a lot. I'm saying a lot. I still have a lot of audible pauses. I had a friend that told me that I have too many audible pauses. MBB? It's big. What is MBB? I'm getting caught up in chat now. Got an appointment. Goodbye, sucker pussy. Archthinker. Oh yeah, I don't even know where we would raid to. Who's even on? It's like 10:30. Make a bloodbath. Okay. I could probably raid there. Let's do that. Let me figure out how to do that. that's in this screen. Mega, whoops. Mega bed bath. Found it. Krieger, do you go live? I'll follow you. That's cool. Oh, Born Again's on as well. Boma. MVB is Mega Bloodbath. I see. I'm tired. That was really. Yeah, and I turned off the chat on the YouTube stream. I hope that worked better. JL's crashing out, so it ought to be good entertainment for those of y'all coming along in MVP. Okay, I'm gonna go so that we can actually do the raid. Thank you very much. Have a good night, and I appreciate every one of you for coming by. I appreciate the great conversations. I had some good ones tonight. It started out rough. I lost my cool a little too much, but little things to work on.